Yeah, but I gotta go get your mother's oil changed. I gotta mail that package to Josh. Finally, had his gift for over a month.
You didn't mail?
No.
Just order it on Amazon and just instead of sending it to your house,
Well, no,
send it to his address.
I've already told him. You can go on Stewarts.com.
Yeah.
But he.
I guess okay. So all right, yeah. It's kind of the novelty, and I get that. Fine. It's like me with that's still that other copy of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
It's like the special edition, the book
Yes.
one. I don't want the first. I have the second and the third, and it's like, well, you just go online and find it, and probably, but I want to find it in person. Granted, I don't go anywhere to find it anymore, but one day.
Red light's not. Oh yeah, it is on.
Oh, it's on. When the red light's on, it's recording. Charlie. What's up, everybody? It's been a while. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. And unfortunately, this fucker decided to jump the gun, so I can't exactly open my gift on camera like I thought we were going to do.
Oh. Well, initially, yes, but look at this. Look how this guy wraps his gifts.
Hey, they can see it's Christmas-like wrapping paper.
It's not wrapping paper.
Prove it.
It's
You can't prove it.
It's fucking tissue paper.
Hey, it's napkins.
It's napkins. It's even better. I got fucking BK.
I drive truck for a fucking living. You
got
judge me, go fuck yourself.
BK, have it your way wrapping paper here.
BK, have it your way. BK.
Oh boy, this might as well be that tissue paper inside of your gifts.
Maybe it was.
You just you reuse the. Hey, I see.
I told you I already got your gift.
It's my armor from Helldivers.
I told you I'd already got a few, but then you showed me up that fucking day, and all I got is a crappy fucking Funko.
Yeah, but it's IG-88. He's probably my favorite. Well, Bosk is my favorite bounty hunter. IG-88's a close second, though. That's pretty good shit.
Well, we had talked, they had dropped the Killzone armor, right?
Yeah.
And literally, we're talking about the next day, a couple days later, we're at Target. I go,
Oh, IG-11.
I was like, yeah, I gotta get that. Crystal goes, why? I go, because he'll get it. It's a Star Wars thing.
Oh.
I go, don't worry about it.
Thank you, man.
You're welcome, buddy.
Speaking of like Helldivers and
Oh,
the
hold on,
salute.
really quick.
It's a bobblehead?
It is a bobblehead.
Fuck yeah.
Bobblehead, yeah. But he's so perfectly in there.
Yeah, guess what? That guy's coming out of that package.
Why? I hate you.
Have you looked around? How many? What? 2, 3, 5, 6
None of them
are in their pack. Oh, that's
that,
not true.
That Funko's not out.
No.
And that Funko, what Funko?
I don't. No, wrestling.
Oh.
You're
no.
saying Funko.
Yeah. Funkos don't come out. That one didn't yet.
That one will.
Why not that one? What's wrong with that?
Because I don't.
That one's special.
I'm not a. Yeah.
And mine's not?
It's a.
Shut up, Putin.
It's a black package.
You never.
You wouldn't. You wouldn't devalue.
Whatever. Continue your fucking story.
What was I saying?
I don't fucking remember.
Oh yeah. All right. So speaking of Helldivers and like the whole salute thing, actually, I'll just show you. I was cruising around looking at different random shit yesterday or the day before, whatever day it was. Oh, I found some things.
Oh God.
Where is it? You might have to excuse my phone. It's a little slow. The order is back that way. So,
do you realize what you've done?
I got this. You'll appreciate it. And anyone who, well,
You got the flag, seriously.
I got the Super Earth flag, 3x5, and it's going out in front of my house.
Oh, that's fucking great.
So
every time I walk on a property, God damn it.
So you know what's funny is,
Charlie, what?
I was like, yeah, it's going in front of my
You
house.
can't stop saluting until I salute you. God damn it. For democracy. Counts as a salute. It's an emote.
So I was like, oh man, I'm going to put that out in front of my house. not for like all year, but then I'm like, and every year, October 26th and Liberty Day, it's going to be up for the day.
Half mass.
Oh, I can't. Oh, well. Oh, yeah, I could. I just have to unscrew the little clippy things and just shift them down. That's a lot of
Liberty
work.
Day,
That's a lot of
October
work,
26th. Fuck it. Put it out full mast.
Yeah, so there you go.
Nice.
I saw that and I'm like, well, that's too good to pass on. It was like $15.
No, that's not a bad deal at
No.
all, dude.
Nope, not at all.
Jesus.
So yeah, took a bit of a holiday break here. I was gonna do it in the middle show. That's why I was like, well, I had your gift sitting back here, as per normal. But
But we didn't do gift exchange on the air.
well, one
Recording.
one is Christmas week. Like fucking everybody got sick.
Yeah.
Somehow I dodged all of it. I don't know how, but literally everybody around, like her parents, mine, you, Phoenix, like everybody.
Just me.
My grandmother ended up in the hospital for a couple days.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, like everybody got sick.
Has anything come of it? You talked to your Uncle Leo or something like that?
Leo?
Lou?
Just make him. My dad?
Oh. That's your dad's name?
God.
I never knew your dad's name.
We've been. What was your Uncle Leo or something? It's like, who?
Family
Louis.
20 plus
Oh,
years.
my dad.
Shut up.
Oh, you guys are related?
It was always your dad. I always called him sir. Have you ever really heard? Think back in the going on in the 20.
You know,
plus
my
years,
mom is my mom.
Okay, in the 20 plus years that we've been who we are, when have you ever heard me say your mom's name or your dad's name out loud to you or to them?
No, now that's not normally something I'd like file away, but I don't really know. It's definitely not a normal thing. So
Exactly.
you just, hi, Mrs. James's mom.
No,
Hi,
well now
hi,
it's
Mr.
hey, Mom.
James's dad.
No, it's always Mr. It's always sir. Hey, how you doing, sir? How you been? I never knew your dad's name. I'd tell you mine, but
your uncle Leo.
I'd tell you mine, but it's not like you can talk to him right now at all.
That's true. That's how he hides the
If
pain.
you know, you know.
That's how he hides the pain.
Yeah, we'll call Payne. Severe childhood emotional scar
Yeah.
trauma. What?
So,
I'm fucking drooling here.
oh my god. So
It's in my
Yeah.
beard. Holy shit.
it's in. You normally say that to the guys. Oh, it's in
Just
my.
myself.
It's in my beard. I have.
You have.
Well, it was. Oh, jeez.
Why won't he talk to me?
Some broads.
I'll tell you later. You sent me to get your stuff.
I have some wild stories.
You sent me to get your stuff.
It's dangerous. It could have been anyway. I don't
Broke
know.
shots and everything, I guess, yeah.
I had good times though. I had good times, but it's crazy times. It's Jeez.
About something serious.
Well, I don't.
Tears. She was really crying.
The sad part is I had to fucking lie to get out of it. Like,
Holy fuck, dude, I need a break.
Eddie, yeah. She's Louise. Wouldn't it be something if she was a regular? Anyway. A weird.
Dodged the bullet on that one, didn't you?
Not quite. I got grazed.
Then I blew it.
Yeah.
That's when I blew it.
That's when I blow it.
Oh, God.
Oh, I have. Oh, yeah. Well, I sent you the picture too. So I'm.
Oh, yeah.
bringing back commentaries.
Yeah.
So I've had this itch for probably the last half a year or so, and then it was just one of those things that like, I'll get to it when I get to it. But then during Christmas break at work, because it's like dead after the first 2 days, because we have all the time in the world to do everything we can't normally do.
Yeah.
So I get everything done, and then for the rest of the week, I'm like, well, fuck, now what? So I got listening to just the audio of those, and I was like, man, these are funnier than I remember. And like the first like 10, we were finding our, much like the podcast, kind of finding our voice. But then like once you get into like the 20s and 30s episodes, I'm like, yeah,
That's
okay,
we got our groove back.
Yeah. Stella. So I'm like, yeah, all right. And then like some of them are fucking hilarious. Like I'm like, I'm just gonna do that again, but now I gotta figure out how the fuck I'm gonna do it in this room. I'm like,
well,
this is a smaller, much different setup. Yeah, I got the bigger TV now as compared to the computer monitor that we used before.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that wasn't the issue. The issue is the green screen. That was the problem. I was like, how the fuck? Because it was, listen, when I do these, it's all about the camera angle, because I want it to sort of be over our shoulders from an angle, because the way Fire Pro works is it's that diagonal,
yeah,
hard cam, like from the not the rafters, but like the first level or first whatever. So I kind of want it to match that, so it looks like we're ringside-ish. So I'm like, all right, that's the key. How am I going to do this? And like I think I got something. I got like the 2 hookups there, the heavy-duty Velcro. I'm like, okay, this might work. Problem is, I'll figure out actually and clipping the video But as long as that works, like the audio is better quality than the old one, because the old one we just use those like small condenser boxes.
Question for you: when was the last commentary we did?
When? 3 years ago.
We got a lot of material to go off of.
I went through that old roster and deleted a lot because I'm like, I never used them, and there's like nothing. Because the way I do it is, I would look for characters that, one, I knew something about, like, oh yeah, I could like really rattle off like pop culture, whatever, politics, like stuff like that. It's like, yeah, but then there's some of them like either they're not unique enough, like Teen Wolf. Like there's a few he was like we used that one in where that's just you
gotta use the corpse of Richard Simmons.
Richard Simmons' corpse.
There's got that dude. Richard Simmons
I will tell you this.
So many matches.
I know. I will tell you this. I will tell you that of all, I've gotten a lot of the characters I have. In the years since, people have used that parts craft feature so they can import faces, which I started to pick up as we were going along. Like I got Bruce Lee's and stuff, but now it's gotten really good, some of them. So I've found a lot that I've replaced their like generic faces with the actual.
Yeah.
Like one is Ron Burgundy, just for an example, and I'm like, man, that looks and it's like 3D scanned. It's really fucking good. The one that's not out there is Richard Simmons. Like, how the fuck? Or like, there's some obscure cartoon characters from like the 60s and 70s, and then also from like what is it? Adult Swim, like stuff like Brack and stuff like that. Like. Yeah, they have characters like that, and you don't have Richard Simmons? Like, how the fuck? So I went on Fire Pro and just threw a message out, like, hey, is there anyone that would be willing, if I gave them a list of, like, there's like 4 or 5 different characters I'm looking for. And you can go on, like, Discord, and there's some pages on Discord, or Fire Pro Discord, that there's a guy, I guess, that, like, if you pay him, he'll do it. It's like, fucking pay him. I was like, well, I looked into doing it myself, and you need, like, to do it, like, well, like some of these. There's, like, 4 different applications, like, programs they use, like, Adobe Photoshop and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, fuck.
Microsoft Paint.
No, it's just, like, 3D imaging. I was like, I don't want to do all this shit. Like, so I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll seek this guy out and see. He's like, what is it, like $5 for a face? Because Richard Simmons alone is worth $5 for me. It's like, here's $5, do Richard Simmons. Like, but he's like, yeah, $30. I'm like, you can go fuck yourself.
I better get 30 Richard Simmons.
But yeah, I mean, the ones that aren't good at it, like Bill Cosby, but it worked for what we do. Gyro head Bill Cosby. He just looks in one direction and his head spins in 360 and shit. I'm like, that. See, stuff like that. It's like, that's funny alone in and of itself. So I'll use that. It's like, oh, it's not Bill Cosby. It's fucking an android Bill Cosby, gyro head Bill Cosby. So yeah, I was listening to a whole bunch of stuff and kind of like, okay, so I saw some story arcs that we were using at the time. It's like, I can kind of pick back up on that. And like 3 years later, but like you just said, it's like, oh yeah, zombie Richard Simmons, like that's a good fucking idea. Like, cause each one gets 4 skins. So I can use one of them, just kind of swap it around and be like zombie Richard Simmons. He's back.
You thought his loss killed him? No, he's back with a vengeance from the dead to the grave.
And I was listening to some of the commentary too. I'm like,
revenge himself.
I was like, oh jeez. Some of it was off the fucking wall. But it was funny. It made me laugh, but yeah,
I think it'd be fun to do that again.
Yeah, and again, like I don't want to do it to where we're burnt out, but I'm like, if I could, like, because they don't take. It's probably if we sat as long as we do a podcast, like an hour and a half.
Knock out like 2 or 3 easily.
2 or 3. I mean, we used to do that and knock out like 5 or 6. Because each match is only between, like, what, 5, 6, 7. The longest videos we had was, like, 25 minutes. And those are, like, the big battle royals that would just go on and on and on. But, like, normally they're right around 7 or 8 minutes. Yeah. So we could knock out a whole bunch. And, like I said, I could just do, like, Wacky Wrestling Wednesday or some fucking stupid shit like that. And, like, so in between the podcast uploads at the end of the weekend.
Red light means it's charging Monday.
Yeah. Like Tuesdays or Wednesdays, I could upload a wrestling one just to keep like a constant flow going on. Yeah. And I have 2 different TikToks. One specifically I made last year for those wrestling commentaries. I'm like, I'm not putting them on this like a TikTok channel because this is all like new like podcasts. Mm-hmm. It's politics and all the other bullshit we talk about.
Jesus Christ!
What?
Like, do you ever clear your notifications?
Which one? Oh, dude, I clear this, and I guarantee you in 10 minutes, it'll all be right back. Just more shit.
Turn your notifications off.
I can't. A lot of them, some of it's news, which I'll get something be like, fuck, I'll forget that if I don't. So, like X, on some of the news things on there, so I leave it there. And then other stuff, I don't even know what other. Oh, eBay. Well, yeah, eBay, that I could probably get rid of. But, I have 2 different email accounts that I get notifications from. So there's a lot of the other stuff I did turn off just for that reason. Because literally I'd clear it off and then I'd go back and be like, ah! Hey, you want to see something real fun? Is this guy's anal like that?
What?
Where is it?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Again, that is... A lot of this is when I'm at work and people text me. Like, I can't fucking keep taking my phone out and be like, what's he saying? Like, I get the audio.
At the end of every day, you should still check some of these messages.
I see them. I hear them because I get the audio. Like, in voicemails and stuff, it's transcribed into text and I get audio, stuff like that. So, at the end of the day, I already know all the messages. I'm not fucking, like, going through my phone, though. And what I do, after a while, I'll go through, like, the 2 or 3 I want to keep, the threads. And everything else, I just mark all, delete. Because a lot of them are the fire department calls. A lot of them. Probably 2/3 of them, if not more. God. But I figured you get
326 unread messages.
I figure you get a kick out of that. And here's another thing I do, too. Added on to all that. When I don't want to talk to anybody, I'll get the message and I'll just pull it down and read it so it doesn't say read. And then push it back up and just put my phone out to the side. It's like, I was doing something.
I do that.
Yeah.
And then I get the text message, why aren't you answering my messages? Why are you
and
not
then I pull that one down and go, and then push that one
back. Clear.
Is that an asshole thing to do? Maybe. But 20 years ago, nobody gave a shit because it wasn't a thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm a product of the 80s into the 90s. So
texting was a rich kid thing.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Shit, kids these days will never have to know. Never have to find out the struggle. Oh, come on, 8 o'clock. Why? What's wrong with 8 o'clock? Free talk and text after 8.
What? Not even that.
Am I right or am I right?
That's true.
Fucking all of a sudden, boom!
I remember the first time I got unlimited data, like unlimited talk and text. I'm like, oh, unlimited. So that's like 25 cents a text. It's unlimited now. Like mind blown. Now it's like, oh, it has unlimited. It's like every fucking plan is unlimited. Tell me something different. Tell me something that'll actually make me go, really? Because now if they say it's unlimited, it's like, it fucking better be. Because if it's anything other than that, I can go literally to 24 other plans.
You want to hear something that'll make you go, oh, really? Back in the 80s, we got water for free and paid for porn. Now, we got porn for free and paid for water.
It's fucking weird. It was like Lewis Black said it best. It's like we had... No. Lewis Black said it best. It was like 20 years ago. It was like, we had clean water going to our homes. And even if we were locked out, we could get it. And we said, no, fuck you. I don't like it to be that goddamn convenient. I want to drive and drive and drive and look for water like my ancestors did. So we said... We had clean water, and they said, we're going to save money cleaning water. And with the money we can save, we can then buy the water at the supermarket. And here we are, doing podcasts, talking about this shit. In the year 2025 now. 2025.
Yeah.
A quarter century ago, 2000. Let that one sink in. Because it did another one of those, like, fuck. And just sat there for a couple minutes, like, where'd it go? Because I remember WrestleMania 16, like 99. It's like, Y2K's coming. We're all going to fucking die.
Oh, my God. I remember that.
Stock up your food.
Oh, dude. And then...
Everyone was doing that.
1999, 11:58, 11:59, 11:59, 37 seconds, 11:59, 58 seconds, 11:59, 59 seconds. Midnight!
Yeah. The interesting thing is, like, this is one of the arguments I heard back then that
something happened.
Still remember. Can someone fart or something so I can say something happened? But I remember hearing that the reason why all the computers and everything are going to shut down is because when the computers switch over because they operated on a 2 decimal system of year, when they go from 99 to 2000, it'll be 00, and computers didn't exist back then, so everything's going to shut down.
Yeah.
And especially in retrospect, but even back then, I'm like, how do they know that, though? Like, it's just 2 numbers. How would they know? It's like, shit, we don't exist now.
Well, time to go back to a simpler time.
But now, in retrospect now, with, like, 20 plus years later, and, like, that's the dumbest fucking argument I've ever heard.
This is better than what schools had in their fucking computer classes 20 years ago.
Supercomputer. This is more powerful than the computers that got us to the moon. It's a supercomputer.
Okay, Google.
This is...
Get me to the moon.
Oh, shit.
Came back from a search.
Kina, get you to the moon. Get you the moon. Lyrics featuring Snow, YouTube.
Get you the moon? No, don't bring it here. You go there. What are you doing? No, Majora's Mask.
Day 3. Fuck! Quick, Maxon, play the song. Please beat it.
But...
Oh, he was working on it. I don't know if he beat it yet or not.
I still haven't played much of that one. I play Ocarina of Time.
I played Majora's Mask and beat it one time because
one of these days
the whole reset is just such a fucking chore.
It reminds me of what was another one that you had to constantly go back in time. Maybe I'm misremembering it, but I thought there was another game where you constantly like go. I don't remember what it was. I mean, there's Ocarina of Time where you keep going from kid to adult. It's like they took that.
You can go back and forth a little while.
Yeah, like from kid to adult. You do that through the entire game, but not on the level of... It's like they took that idea and we're like, that's a good idea. Let's jack it up to 11. Like, well, what the fuck? It's like instead of 7 years...
Like playing video games. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's 3 days.
I'm in danger.
That's what everyone said when they saw the moon coming down. I'm in danger. This podcast is way off the rails. We're not even on the rails. This
Fuck
beast
the
just
rail.
grew wings and flew away.
We'll do a rail and get pardoned.
Yeah, we gotta catch up with a whole bunch of shit. See if we can fucking
God.
PowerPoint this.
Bullet point, you mean?
Bullet point. Yeah, we'll PowerPoint. Right here, you see.
Fuck you, I want a laser pointer. I never got to use the goddamn laser pointer. This is
Because you
bullshit.
shine it in everyone's eyes. You'd get it and be like, give me this, Charlie.
No. I touched the teachers for it, and I never got it.
The teachers did not. Your teachers were in an alley somewhere. They weren't teachers, Charlie.
It's called School of Hard Knocks. I had to learn on the streets.
Well, it was hard something or other.
It was definitely something
And
hard to
knocks
learn.
probably happened. I guess you're right.
Just like this is what my therapist said. As long as I don't talk about it, I won't remember. Like that one time, I forgot. It worked.
So,
I'm waiting for this. I was actually, where's this PowerPoint?
what I'm gonna do?
We're going to bullet point this.
Yeah, that's bullet point. Bullets. So yeah, I don't have that down, but I was gonna say amnesty, the pardons.
Clemency.
The one part, did we talk about? I think we did talk about
A little bit.
we talked about Joe's son pardon. 'cause
Hunter.
That happened. That was about a month ago at this point. It's fucking
And then he pardoned a fuck ton more.
yeah, including what?
Pedophile.
Yeah, a pedophile. He had thousands or something like
The
that.
Kids for Cash judge. You know about that one, right?
I don't think so.
There was a judge. I
Right.
forgot what state it was in. He was all part of a kickback scheme. And basically, your kid would go to his court for skateboarding in the park. And
2013 documentary "Kids for Cash" is about kids
that
like
were
a scandal involved in a.
So basically, he would trump up their charges, send them to this upstate fucking asylum, juvenile detention hall, where they would get money per kid, and the court, like the coordinator or the facilitator of that building, was kicking the judge money back for it.
Yeah, so it says here it's a 2000. All right, this is a documentary, but scandal that involved judicial kickbacks in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, in 2008. The scandal involved two judges who were found guilty of accepting kickbacks to send juveniles to detention centers instead of giving them probation or a lesser penalty. Some juveniles were sent to detention centers for minors offenses such as stealing a CD from fucking Walmart.
Yep. And they would get a kickback for it.
And they pardoned him?
They pardoned that judge. There was a woman when he walked out of jail. She's screaming at him. Do you remember me? Do you remember me? I'm the mother of the kid you killed. The one.
Oh, I did see
Yeah.
that. Okay. So that had to do with that?
Yes.
Jeez.
He walked out free and clear, and she was there to fucking greet him. Because the kid committed suicide. He lost everything over something stupid.
That's right, yeah. I do remember that.
I think it was
a
like-
couple weeks ago, I think I saw that.
Loitering or some shit. It was something so stupid. He might have been at a high school party or something.
Right.
And he fucking nailed him to the wall, sent him upstate, gave him a permanent record. The kid committed suicide because he lost everything. Scholarships, academic scholarships, or athletic and academic scholarships. He had jobs. Like, he had a life ready to go. And he killed himself because the fucking judge ruined his life. And that fucking guy is literally right now chilling, fucking enjoying the money that he stashed away because all the money didn't get recovered.
I would imagine most of the time
No.
it's not. No.
Oh, yeah, no. Fucking stupid. Yeah. And then there was the kiddie porn guy.
2011, Michael Conan was sentenced to more than 17 years in prison after he and another judge were found guilty of accepting $2.8 million in legal payments in exchange for sending more than 2,300 kids, jeez, including some young as 8 years, fucking 8 years old,
Dude, it
to
was
private
legit.
juvenile detention centers. Fuck me.
Now,
Conan was released.
Pause. I don't know how true it is. Some of the dark web some of the dark web rumors, because I remember when this all went down, I remember that, wow, it's pretty dark shit. Dark web rumors were a lot of those kids suffered trauma in the detention centers.
Probably.
And there was a lot of stuff they were paid. These judges, in part, some of their payment was to make these issues go away. Like sexual assault things were being reported, they got skated.
Oh, well, yeah, I kind of. You expect that after, all right. Conahan
Yeah, something like that.
was released from prison in 2020 due to COVID-19 and placed on house arrest, which had been scheduled to end in 2026. Conahan's sentence was one of about 1,500 the U.S. president commuted or shortened on Thursday, while also pardoning 39 Americans who had been convicted of nonviolent crimes. All right, well, the nonviolent crimes is one thing. I get that. Depending on what the nonviolent crime is, I guess. In response to commutation, commutation. I mean, granted, Conahan and Biden, mother of a boy sent to jail at age 17 before later dying by suicide, told the Citizen's Voice, "I am shocked and I am hurt. His actions destroyed families, including mine, and my son's death is a tragic reminder of the consequences of his abuse of power," Sandy Fonzo said to the outlet. "This pardon feels like an injustice for all of us who still suffer. Right now I'm processing and doing the best I can to cope with the pain that this has brought back." That's fucking wild.
Oh, yeah.
So I do remember seeing the video for that.
And I guess something a lot of people are like, oh, well, all he did was pardon them. They still have records. Actually, if you look into it, the amnesty and the clemency, not the amnesty, the clemency.
Mm-hmm.
There's a clause in the clemency breakdown where there are certain cases where expunged, gone.
Take more steps and weeks ahead. Continue to review clemency petitions.
Because some of these people that he pardoned would have to register in one way, shape, or form, or one way or another. They have to register with organizations just to let.
It's one thing to pardon them, but if he's gonna pardon them and then wipe their record, come on.
Yeah, that's a little much.
Who are you protecting and why? Speaking of who you're protecting, you see, there's Wikipedia, but on Wikipedia, there's a lot of connections to Epstein that are being scrubbed just recently, in the last week or two. A lot of different connections are just being completely deleted off Wikipedia in regards to Epstein. Why?
It's a lot of paper trail.
As President, as Biden said in a statement in regards to this pardoning, "I have a great privilege of extending mercy to people who have demonstrated remorse and rehabilitation, restoring opportunity for Americans to participate in daily life and contribute to their communities, and taking steps to remove sentencing disparities for nonviolent offenders." Now, hold the fuck on a minute. He was on house arrest, wasn't he? Yeah, that's what I read. Isn't that good enough? Listen, you're not in a fucking jail, right? You're not in a fucking jail.
First door on the right, Putin. Okay. Fuck off, Putin.
It's he
Go press a button.
Yeah, you're not in jail anymore. So that's pretty fucking good. I feel you got to serve 17 years. Then a few years, well, actually, 20, this is 9 years in. So halfway through, basically. And it's listen, you could just go on house arrest. That's a good fucking deal.
No, he needed a full pardon.
But see, there where this whole nonviolent thing. It's yeah, but what he was doing is fucking diabolical. You're basically using. It's what Kamala did in California, using inmates for bullshit sentences as cheap labor. Mm-hmm. And evidently fighting fires and stuff. It's oh, no, you're in for 10 years. I had a fucking roach on me. 10 years.
Yeah.
That's kind of hyperbolic, but you get the idea. Yeah, so I did hear some of the crazy things. The one that I heard the most of was that. See if I can find it. The one with
The pedophile guy.
yeah.
Like Shang Jin Kun or something.
Yeah, he's a. See if I can find it here.
Big Brother. Oh, he's
So
among our dirty secrets.
So he's among those. 76-year-old Timothy McGinn, a former stockbroker convicted in 2013 of defrauding hundreds of clients for millions of dollars, wiping out savings for many of his victims.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck?
Yep.
Another person who received clemency, a former Ohio County Commissioner, Jimmy DeMora, was convicted in 2012 of taking $450,000 in bribes that included lavish trips to Las Vegas, prostitutes, and stone-fired pizza oven. I mean, yeah, after a while of banging hookers and going to Vegas, you kind of want a pizza. Who else? Also on the list, Paul DeGrardis, whatever. Convicted of overseeing fraudulent tax shelters in 2014. Elaine Lovett, convicted of defrauding federal health insurance program. Medicare is part of... I see a trend here. Like all this defrauding and tax evasion or whatever. It's all Biden's buddies. But what I want to see is the one that where everyone is talking about. But I don't...
Hold on, I got you.
It's like that's the one they're not putting anyway.
Pedophile who was pardoned by Biden.
That's probably a good way to do it. Oh. Wasn't he on like a terrorist, like, I don't know, a terrorist watch list or something like that? Maybe it's like two different stories I'm mixing together.
Not sure. While Biden did not pardon them, it is true that he commuted the sentences of 3 Chinese nationals, 1 convicted on child pornography charges and 2 convicted of espionage-related charges.
Sentences of 37 individuals on death row.
Mark Swiden, Kai Lee, and John Wang.
Huh. Yeah.
Oh, no, wait, that's the people who were apparently...
There's a list of a whole bunch of them, but I suppose I could go through each one.
Oh,
but I'm
okay.
not gonna go
Early
through each
reporting
one.
on the swap identified 2 of the 3 Chinese nationals as Zhu Yangjun and Ji Shaoquan. The third individual was Jin Shan Lin, who had been convicted of activities relating to material constituting or containing child pornography. So there you go. Zhu Yangjun, Ji Xiaoquan, and Jin Shan Lin.
You just made all those names up.
Yahoo News.
Yahoo's still fucking around.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. So
On
yeah,
Newsweek,
I did see
Biden
that.
rebuked for granting clemency to man caught with child support.
Crazy world we live in.
Hell yeah.
Crazy world. We got presidents, or soon to be former presidents, releasing everybody. It's like, you get free record. You get a free record. We got terrorist attacks, New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Down in, what, NOLA? Yeah. Was that the one who had... Oh, yeah, then there was the Tesla truck that blew up outside of Trump Tower.
Yes.
Which was, like, that was a statement. And it's like, oh, it was a Trump supporter. I'm like, you sure about that? But either way. But it was a Tesla truck. And because it's stainless steel, like, it held in most of the explosion.
Yeah.
Which was because you know that was done to send a message. One, like, the left right now is desperately trying to, like, push a wedge in between Trump and Elon. And it is like everything that they're doing, the extreme anyway, is just suffering It's just failing on a massive fucking level. So what do? Is I'm going to load up a Tesla truck with bombs, and I'm going to drive it to Trump Tower. And then I'll blow it, and then Trump will be like, you're a fucking truck. And Elon will be like, it's not my truck, not my fault. No form of problem. And what happens is he drives it there, it goes off, but Elon's truck fucking holds most of the explosion in, and then Elon goes, it's like free publicity for my truck.
And he was very quick to, with all the tracking, all the recording, all the computer systems in there, they can go back in and find out anything and everything, and it's all ready to go for the government whenever the president-elect when he wants it.
Which is convenient, but also that's kind of scary. It's like, yeah, we know everything you're doing and saying. It's like, for what?
Wait, what? Sir, how'd you get into my truck? Get out! Take my penis out of your mouth. I'll pay you later. Do you have Venmo?
Cash App.
Oh, you poor homeless scumbag! Get out of my truck. Cash App.
No, but yeah. So there was that, and then the New Year's Day attacker, New Orleans, acted alone. FBI Thursday described the deadly event as an act of terrorism. 14 people were killed and dozens injured when the man plowed into a crowd on Bourbon Street in a pickup truck. I saw like the video of the aftermath, which is wild.
So you're telling me there's going to be a truck on Facebook Market for sale soon? Like that Charger? Minor suspension damage. It's the fucking picture of the Charger that went through the Dallas parade.
Really?
Remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
There was a Dodge Charger.
All right.
That literally...
That was the one that was being sold on Facebook Market?
Somebody put up a dummy post with the picture of it.
Oh, all right. Maybe.
I said, wow. That's, excuse me. That's a brave joke post.
Ugh. See,
that'd be like putting up Ground Zero. Got some New York City skyline property for sale.
Just a bucket of rubble.
That's fucked up.
Too soon? Nope. President Joe Biden, citing the FBI, said the driver also planted explosives in ice coolers in the French Quarter just hours before the attack. They assessed he had a remote detonator in his vehicle and set off those two ice chests. The man who was killed in a firefight with police was identified as an Army vet from Texas and had an ISIS flag in the back of his truck. Said the video was made before the attack. I do remember that. That's why it's like, it's a terrorist attack. See, it was associated with ISIS. So ISIS is back in the fucking news. Remember, what was that, 2013 or 11? Somewhere around there, but that was a thing.
I think that's a little too convenient that they just found a blazing fucking ISIS flag.
And the White House has seen no evidence of foreign direction or involvement in the attack. A source familiar, blah, blah, blah. There's no definitive connection right now between the attack of New Orleans and the Tesla Cybertruck explosion outside the Trump Hotel in Vegas. Yeah. Which is exactly I watched the ball drop. Like every now and again I'll tune in to watch it. And it's just as non-exciting as it is every other year. So I watched it, but every time I watch it, especially in the last 6 years or so, I almost get that tight feeling like, is something gonna fucking happen? Because the temperature that we live in right now is you can't fucking New Orleans. But I'm just waiting for that Times Square thing. They're all packed in there. I'm like, man, that's a prime target. Who is out of their fucking mind? Especially in this day and age, you'd be like, hey, you want to go to Times Square? It's like, fuck you. That's what I say. Excuse me. that's that whole idea.
But seriously,
personified.
You're not wrong. A chemical agent dispersed over Times Square during the New Year's ball drop. Ball drop, not balls. You're talking about 50, 60,000 balls.
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay, Google.
I bet you there's about 100,000 people.
Okay, Google.
Say.
What is the record for the Times Square New Year's attendance?
Oh, but that's probably in the 80s. It's still 2025. We're still in the, you know.
That didn't work.
You all right over there?
Okay, Google. How many people attended the New Year's celebration in Times Square?
100,000. 250,000. 500,000? Really?
Keep going.
501,000? 700,000.
Keep going.
Really?
Keep going.
A million?
Estimated about over 1 million people packed into Times Square to watch the New Year's Eve 2025 ball drop Tuesday night. Estimated to be just over 1 million people packed in there.
Really? Because I watched videos. What was it like back in the 80s and 90s then? Because I watched videos. It just seems like it was way more fucking packed. Or maybe it was just, maybe it wasn't. I will
How
tell you.
many people attended the 1984 New Year's celebration in Times Square?
I will tell you that it was the energy level back then was way off the charts as compared to what it is like in the last like 5 or 10 years. I don't know. I'll say 400,000. 100,000.
100,000. Just over 100,000.
But the energy level
Oh,
is like off the charts. I'm like, because I watched
Whoa.
I remember watching it probably 4 years ago. It was the last time I watched it. And, granted, the pandemic was happening. It was like 3 years ago, maybe. The pandemic we're in the middle of it. So, I remember the ball drops, and it was like 20 fucking minutes later, everyone was like cleared out. Like, they were all there with their news, like talking. There was garbage and shit all over the streets, and there was like 20 people like fucking with brooms in the back. But that was it. I was like, wow, they just cleared right out. Like, I remember back then you watch them, and like everyone was just fucking high energy and everything. And the ball drops, and everyone's still there singing and all that crazy shit. And like it wasn't that anymore. And I guess one thing they did is they used to have porta potties and things, and they don't do that anymore. So there's people that go down there evidently, and they wear diapers and shit. Like, what the no, I don't. And you have to go down there for like 12, 14, 16 hours ahead of time. Who the fuck wants to do that? Like, who wants to do that?
I can tell you what the deal is. 1984 versus 2024. The energy level was very high back in those days. We're going to celebrate New Year's.
No.
We're just smelling salts. 'Cause that's what they were doing. Except it wasn't smelling salts. It was white powder. Cocaine was big and rampant in the fucking 80s. And you mean to tell me every fucking person walking in and out of that porta potty, you mean to tell me
It wasn't.
with 100,000 people in the course of a 4-hour time span, how many times were those porta potties used? You mean to tell me at 100,000 people, let's say each person, each male, no, you know what? Every fucking human takes an 8-ounce piss. 10-ounce piss. The average person pees about 10 to 15 ounces of liquid. Okay? I know, because I can usually fill up a 20-ounce bottle of soda, empty Code Red bottle. Just saying. So, let's say the average person fucking puts out a 10-ounce amount of liquid when they urinate. 10 times 100,000 is what?
But,
Fuck
one, cocaine, it wasn't cocaine, it was crack. That was the big.
Fuck, they run crazy like that shit. Have you ever smoked crack?
That was the big problem in the 80s. Have you?
That's not what I asked. I asked you first.
No, I haven't.
Okay, like I was saying. So let's do the math here.
Wait a minute.
Fuck you. 10 times 100,000.
Knowingly.
That is 1 million ounces of fluid. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. How many gallons
Divided by
can
16.
hold on. Port a potty hold? 60 gallon.
Okay.
Okay.
Divided by a million divided by 16.
Okay. Hold on.
Somebody can figure this out.
Million divided by 16 equals 62,500.
Divided by 6. Oh, so they need what? About 100?
Hold on. Divided by 60. They'd need 1,041
1,040. Yeah, okay.
porta potties. You mean to tell me Every person that walked into that fucking porta potty in that 4-hour time span was taking a piss. No. They would have flooded those porta potties. Motherfuckers are in there. Or because you light the rock.
Yeah,
it's called crack for a reason. You light the rock and you inhale the smoke. And it goes.
There's like two different. There's two different points here.
But you want to run. You want to run and not stop running. Literally.
Yeah, but that's assuming like everyone fucking there is like.
Unfortunately, and it was knowingly.
That's
it was stupider times.
Assuming everyone there was high on crack or coke, and that's just not true. So it's not.
Even if half the people.
It wasn't even half. If it was 10%, I'd be shocked.
10%
guaranteed.
Of the drugs?
Guaranteed.
I don't know.
Cocaine and crack? Guaranteed. It wasn't even 10%.
Okay, Google. How many people on average were doing drugs in the 1980s?
Well, crack and coke. Because how are they going to... How is this going to break this down? Coffee? Everyone!
Okay, Google. How many people were doing crack in 1984?
8. Oh, it's got my name on every one.
Just so we're aware, crack, cocaine is the same thing. Cocaine is just the powder.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Well, it's not just the powdered form.
No,
it's crack is. What you got?
12%.
12% of people are on crack? That explains it.
Out of 100,000 people, what's 12%?
100,000? About 12,000.
That's a lot.
Okay,
Holy shit.
So this is what they did. Okay? I stand corrected. But this is what they did. They shuffled all those people to the center of Times Square.
No, you know they
Listen, we need your energy. Yeah, we need us, boys.
I got it. Watch this.
No, see that's what. See that's what. That's where they did use cocaine, because with the cocaine, as long as it wasn't. Wait a minute. Wait, no, yeah, fuck it. Ask Google. Okay, Google. Ask Google if it was raining New Year's Eve, 1984.
What was the weather like New Year's Eve, 1984?
In New York City. Because there would be a fucking where.
What was the weather like in New York City, New Year's Eve, 1984?
That'll determine what they actually threw. Please tell me it was nice.
Hold on a second.
I mean, it as nice as it could be in the middle of December.
8 degrees.
Was it like raining, or well, obviously not raining, but snowing or anything like that?
No, that was the lowest temperature in January 21st. Hold on a second. It doesn't say.
Just type in Times Square, 1984, like December 31st, weather, Times Square. Oh, of 84.
Okay.
So what happens when there's so much information on the internet? Like, it's hard to find shit. Let's go back to simpler times, like 2002, when there was like 18 websites.
Yeah. No rain. Just
all right.
A cool day.
So it wasn't crack, it was cocaine. It's kind of gritty in the air.
Did somebody, like, stomp on a bottle of baby powder? Gonna be late.
Do you think the new year will ever come?
I don't know. That homeless guy over there by the garbage can just did.
One guy staring up at the ball for like 45 minutes. What are you looking at? I was like, are they gonna like actually drop that on us? man, that's gonna fucking hurt. That's way up there. All right, I don't even remember how we got on that. Oh yeah, so you watch that and it's just
I'm sitting there trying wait a minute, how the fuck?
Yeah, how we
came into me admitting something I haven't admitted in a long time.
but
Talking about porta potties and how much liquid they hold. Keep going back. It's
been a while. We'll get back in our groove. But yeah, so you watch that, or at least when I watch stuff like that, I'm like, what am I gonna see? I'm gonna see some crazy shit. What is gonna? And nothing happened. But then I wake up the next day and be like, oh, something happened, just a different city. I'm like, see, that's what I mean. That's why I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna go to any of that shit. Like, I haven't been in New York City since 2014, and I'm completely okay with that. Like, I have no desire to go back there.
We went. No,
didn't you go down like last year?
Yeah, this past summer.
Oh, yeah, we did.
For the game. No, the Yankees game. That was. Was that this summer or the summer? Yeah, it was this summer.
And you went down. I thought you went down for like something else too.
Yeah, well, the family went down for the wedding.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, but. Yeah, so
good times.
There you go. What else? What else is going on? Oh, women sterilizing themselves because Trump won.
Yeah, but when was the last time we went down to see Uncle Carl, 16-ish?
Oh, is it?
No, Max,
You have an Uncle Leo?
Yeah.
Oh.
We have Uncle Leo.
I don't know.
Holy Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
For President-elect Trump's win over Vice President Kamala Harris. But now, listen to this. Women are getting sterilized after Donald Trump's victory, saying it's their only option. Newsweek spoke to 5 women who have undergone the procedure or plan to do so in the wake of the election. The women say they did it over their fear that the Trump administration will take away their reproductive rights. One told the outlet she felt, quote, the election tied her hands. Emily, I want to delve deeper into that individual who said that. Let's pull this up. This is Newsweek. Last week, a 39-year-old from Washington
bleed
State,
him out, breed him out.
very young, who did not want to be named, underwent a bilateral salpingectomy. Hopefully I said that right. In which her fallopian tubes were removed. She, quote, I am not happy that I felt forced into a surgery. I did not want to alter my body. I feel like the election tied my hands. Forced me to be sterilized. This is horrible. She says, with Trump's victory, we quickly learned my choice to cancel the surgery had been taken away. What does she mean?
It hurts when I do this.
I'm sorry. I view that as the most perverted joke of someone who is totally missing the point. And that is that President Donald Trump actually empowers every single person, that their vote actually counts, that the Roe v. Wade being overturned meant that it restored the power.
Okay, so I'm stuck on the whole I'm sterilizing myself because Trump took my reproductive rights, or is going to take my reproductive rights.
And then her hands were tied because after President-elect Trump won, they couldn't cancel the surgery.
I can't cancel it now. Here's the thing. That's like you have a gun. And you have it pointed
Thank
at
God,
me.
so you'll never fucking reproduce.
You have it pointed at me. You're like, I'm going to shoot you. And I'm like, oh, God.
I didn't do it.
Yeah. That's what Trump's saying right now. But that argument is just bat shit. That's bat shit crazy personified right there. Like the logic.
That's the victim blaming the victim.
That's the victim blaming themselves.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, but that's like, how? What kind of weird fucking inception is this?
I was raped, and I deserved it because I dressed like a whore. And I can't believe it's always my fault. I deserved it. Like, what the
But
fuck?
that's like I was raped. It's like, but you did it on video to you. Oh, I deserved it though. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Maybe if I hadn't dressed like a whore, maybe if President-elect Trump hadn't won, I wouldn't have just like a skank and raped myself on camera.
It was on your OnlyFans. Did anyone subscribe?
If no one subscribed, it's a crime.
But it just
Because it's $9.99.
price is a crime. But
That blown up meat wad roast beef sandwich is a crime.
Jeez. But yeah, so
Curtains.
To the people on the individual level, on the state basis. And I wish that that person had used clearly the platform that she was granted and clearly the money that she has to better use, which would be for advocacy, for local elections, for local community work, and for actually educating others rather than totally destroying her body. And when you contrast that with all of the countries who are currently at war, with at Ukraine, with Israel, with Hamas, with so many people who are just barely surviving today, and she has the money to elect to destroy her body and any hope for
yeah,
production,
seriously.
for the most insane
Ooh, sorry, excuse me.
interpretation of this president who is assuming office. I am shocked, and who I feel the most horrified for and the most sorry for are her parents.
Well, it's not just the women, it's the men too. I thought all the liberal men got their vasectomies at the DNC. Apparently not. So let's pull up this headline. Vasectomies rise 1,200% after Donald Trump election win. And to that we go to our resident male, Brian Kilmeade.
Thanks for not asking Emily's question.
You better get working. You gotta make another.
Here's the thing too. Okay, with this, like, no, I didn't know about the vasectomies, but with either sexes here, it's like, oh, we're getting sterilized and we're getting vasectomies and all this. It's like, okay, so what you're gonna do is in 20 years, conservatives are gonna outbreed you, and that was just before any of this. It was just like because like leftists, liberal men and women don't have as many kids as compared to conservative men and women. They just don't, mathematically. So that, in and of itself, they were going to end up outnumbering them, theoretically. But now they're going through and sterilizing themselves. So now, instead of like doing this over the years, it's going to be like this over the years.
You know, the only issue I have is how
Who
dare...
and what in the holy hell are you doing over there? He's like building fucking Legos or something with chairs. Like, jeez. Anyway.
The only thing I don't agree with this whole situation is how dare these left men make the decision not to take away the fucking right of these left women to have children. They are forcing these women to not be having children by getting themselves having a vasectomy. They are taking away the women's rights to having children. How dare you sexist, misogynistic left men. Wow, women of the left, you need to stand up and attack and stand up for these yourself. You should be the one telling your man whether or not to have a vasectomy. How dare he take that choice away from you?
I see what you did there. That's about their logic, though. That's about the logic. That is the logic.
I feel like that's on par with the electoral kind of topic. Like, that's probably going to get someone who goes, holy shit, he's got a good point there. I'm good for one every now and again.
But, yeah. I mean, that's the logic, though.
I hope that happens.
And that
Please,
is,
somebody.
That is the kind of argument that would pop up and be a serious point of view that they would run with and be like, I'm going to get a vasectomy, and I'm just going to do this on my own. And then a woman would be like, well, what, you're taking our right to reproduce with you away. That's not fair to us. And then that would cause more arguing or battling within their own fucking... See, this is why I fucking...
It's like the snake eating its own tail.
This is why I stopped being a liberal like 20 fucking years ago. Because
snake eating its own tail.
Yeah. Like,
Keep going.
Actually, it wasn't 20 years. It was like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But back then, I could see the direction of what that fucking party was going. It's like, and yeah,
I'm not
stepped
gonna lie.
away from it for like 4 or 5 years, and then Trump got in, and we're like, well, this is fucking wild.
I can genuinely say I've always been platform driven. I guess over the last few elections, you could say I've started to lean more right than left. And, I've always considered myself a centrist. But
I have since just before the last midterms in 2022.
I've always considered myself a neutral.
The pandemic really did it for me, where the way everything was handled,
The way everything was handled, yeah, it was fucking crazy.
during the pandemic, the way like perception of everything happened, it was like, oh yeah,
shit, dude, we made a video about conspiracy theories, and it got banned for misinformation.
It did. It's like you can you can look at, it's like, oh, you can't go to a restaurant. Or you have to sit down. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense in and of itself. But then added on to that, it's like, but you can protest and riot.
Yeah.
And the argument given, and this is not hyperbolic, the argument given was, well, they're probably actually helping with the spread, and they probably should. That's not fucking that. That was an argument that was given by doctors. I'm like, what? And that was the start of me really. I guess that's what they say, like red pill or whatever. And it's like, this is fucking bonkers. This is fucking wild. Everything they're saying is like, I can't do this shit. And then just more and more and more. And then like over the last couple years after, then we see like all the charges and everything. And Trump is like, anybody with two fucking eyes can look at this and be like, this is all bullshit. Like, it was like, oh, we're just like people dropping themselves out of positions, getting positions somewhere else and state levels so they can do. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah. For me, I want to say it was probably the last Obama election is when I started to go, wait a minute, something's not right here. You know,
In 2012?
yeah. Because at that point, I had become a father.
Mm-hmm.
And I really started, like, it wasn't so much life. I knew what life was, but now it was, okay, look, you've got to take you've got to lead, you've got to walk the path.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to take direction. You've got to start looking at everything, because our generation, we had that perfect balance of look this far ahead, but also pay attention to the here and now.
Right.
You know, career-wise, education-wise, relationship-wise, everything we were involved with growing up, we were taught, look 10, 15, 20 years down the road, see where you're going to be with this path you're taking, but also pay attention to the here and now that you're in.
Right.
This way you don't miss anything. Nowadays, it's all, well, here and now, here and now, here and now. So back then, I want to say like 2010 to 2012 was when I finally started to really like, you know, at that point, I had tried college like twice and it just wasn't working out. I was a father. I really had to start looking at, all right, what am I going to do? What am I doing now? What could I be doing in 10 years to make sure I'm giving and providing the best I possibly can? And that was when I started noticing, like, wait a minute, me now isn't being taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
The track record doesn't make the next 10, 15 look like it's going to be taken care of very well either, going one way or the other. So that's when I started like, kind of like these ideals. Still like some of those points of view, but now I'm kind of leaning this way. Then Trump came into the office, and it was like, all right, guy's a little outlandish, still pro-choice, still pro-gun.
He's a populist, though.
So
that was the thing.
Then Biden comes around, and it's like, okay, well, doesn't really have much to stand for, but maybe he can do something.
Yeah,
We'll see.
like, at the time, I wasn't like so more in one direction than the other. I was like, well, I didn't vote for him, but see what he does.
Yeah.
Oh boy, what a ride!
Yeah, and that's now I'm still consider myself a centrist because I still like the ideals of both parties. Certain things I do like on both sides.
Classic libertarian, I do. But that's the thing is like I said it over and over and over. The conservative party now is a libertarian party 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But I guess that's the way it's always been. Like it's always been the conservative party is like 20 years behind. And so, like, the liberals are like, oh, we're going to fucking change everything. And conservatives are like, well, hold on there, Democrats. Like, that's just the way it is. But, yeah, I
old-timey accent. Well, hold on there, Democrat.
That's Mitch McConnell. What was he, 82? Yeah. But, during all that time, I was recording music all the time.
Yeah.
So the world didn't exist to me. So I got caught up in politics in like 2008, like really from the Bush era through to like 2008, 9. Obama got in. I'm like, all right. And I just kind of floated away from politics. Got super absorbed. About the same time, got super absorbed in recording music. and Warhawk, and the world disappeared. And then about 2015, 2016, I like kind of popped my head back out into the world, like, what's going on? What the fuck? And then I got back into it. And that's when I was like, what the hell happened? Like, what happened to the parties? Like, it's fucking different than it was back when Bush was in office. Like,
Top 25
crazy
Bushisms of all time.
Yeah.
Remember the Bushisms?
I do.
All right,
I
here we
used
go.
to have a poster. I don't know what happened
Number
to
one,
it,
our enemies are innovative and resourceful, and so are we. They never stop thinking about new ways to harm our country and our people, and neither do we.
I wonder if they panicked, like when Biden. Remember Biden have like different,
Yeah.
his whatever. They'd be like, oh,
I know how hard it is for you to put food on your table for,
yeah, we put food
on your family.
Yeah, food on your family.
Rarely is the question asked, is our children learning?
Is our children learning? There was a stutter before that too. I
Too
remember
many
that.
good docs are getting out of the business.
Not
Too
enough
many
OBGYNs
aren't able to practice their love
for women around.
Number 5, neither in French nor in English nor in Mexican. Declining to answer reporters.
Nor Mexican. I speak that
Nor
Mexican
in
language.
Mexican. You teach a child to read, and he or her will be able to pass a literacy test. Number 7, I'm the decider, and I decide what is best. And what's best is for Don Rumsfeld to remain as the Secretary of Defense. Number 8, see, in my line of work, you got to keep repeating things over and over and over again for the truth to sink in, to kind of catapult the propaganda. Oh, God, and he was a Republican.
It's funny. Wait, pause for a second. It's funny because, like, back then, the Democrats would just torch him for stuff like this.
Oh.
And it's like one of those what goes around comes around thing. And like 20 years later,
Yeah.
and I'm like, listen,
Biden.
remember all that bullshit you were talking before? Here you go. And they
Biden.
dialed that. Another thing, they dialed up to 10.
I've heard he's been called Bush's poodle. He's bigger than that, discussing former British Prime Minister Tony Blair. And so, General, I want to thank you for your service, and I appreciate the fact that you really snatched defeat out of the jaws of those who are trying to defeat us in Iraq. Hold on, I botched that. Let me try it one more time. And so, General, I want to thank you for your service, and I appreciate the fact that you really snatched defeat out of the jaws of those who are trying to defeat us in Iraq. We ought to make the pie higher. What? We ought to make the pie higher. South Carolina Republican debate, February 15, 2000.
So, I mean, that was when he was trying to get in the office the first time. There was a red flag right there.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck
There's
did
an
he
old
just say?
saying in Tennessee. I know
think
it's in
it's in
Texas,
Tennessee. I
probably in
think it's in
Tennessee. That says,
Fool me once,
shame on you. Fool me, you can't get fooled
You
again.
can't get fooled again. Everyone knows that one.
This motherfucker almost knew it by word.
Yeah.
13, and there is distrust in Washington. I am surprised, frankly, at the amount of distrust that exists in this town, and I'm sorry it's the case, and I'll work hard to try to elevate it.
Good job.
Speaking on National
at least
Public
he kept
Radio,
that promise.
January 29, 2007.
So that was after 2 terms.
Yeah, that was near the end of a second. We'll let our friends be the peacekeepers, and the great country called America will be the pacemakers. It's important for us to explain to our nation that life is important. It's not only life of babies, but it's life of children living in, the dark dungeons of the internet. Oh, GW, I love you. One of the great things about books is sometimes there are fantastic pictures. Oh my God. Laid the foundation, bro. All right. People say, we're at 17. We only got a few left.
Okay.
People say, how can I help on this war against terror? How can I fight evil? You can do so by mentoring a child, by going into a shut-in's house and say, I love you.
Well, I remember one that says, why don't you help or something like that? Why don't you mentor a child how to read or something like that? Something along those lines.
Number 18. Well, I think if you say you're going to do something and don't do it, that's trustworthiness.
Yes.
Wait, what? Okay.
I believe human beings and fish can coexist peacefully.
I'm looking forward to a good night's sleep on the soil of a friend.
What the fuck?
On the prospect of visiting Denmark, Washington, D.C., June 29, 2005. I'm looking forward to a good night's sleep on the soil of a friend. Oh my God. I think it's really important for this great state of baseball to reach out to people of all walks of life to make sure that the sport is inclusive. The best way to do so is to convince little kids the beauty of playing baseball.
See, that right there, that is right there as an example of what I just said earlier. And be like, hey, you remember all that bullshit you were talking before? It's like they took this and like, this is going to be your whole fucking presidency now.
Families. Oh, God. I know what it's supposed to say. Family is where our nation finds hope. Where
wings take
a
dream. Yeah.
I think he meant to say where dreams take wings.
No. He said what he meant.
You know, when I campaigned here in 2000, I said I want to be a war president. No president wants to be a war president, but I am one. Des Moines, Iowa, October 26, 2006, Liberty Day. There's a huge trust. I see it all the time when people come up to me and say, I don't want you to let me down again.
You know, I don't want you to let me down again. What? Just that. Those are the things that he says to be like, man, he's burying himself.
It's like a Deadpool 2. So like Beyonce said to Jay-Z, please stop cheating on me. Oh my God.
You know, I don't want you to let me down again.
They misunderestimated me.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
Number 25. I'll be long gone before some smart person ever figures out what happened inside this Oval Office.
Maybe not, though.
He's not wrong. He's long gone. He ain't in that office anymore.
No, but he's still around.
Is he really?
Yeah, he was talking in support of Biden. Or all those, he's a fucking rhino, and like, he's all part of the establishment. All of them. That's why I couldn't stand him back then. That's why I was like registered Democrat back then. Because he was a warmonger. He was all about like just taking money and couldn't stand him. And then it's the whole fucking system.
Yeah.
And like I said, Trump gets in and be like, what is all this shit? What's this do? God, kicks over shelves and stuff. And the whole...
Did you have a good time?
The whole...
Yes, I did. I belong to a former president.
Yeah, and then everyone went, oh, God, what's happening? This wasn't... Hillary was supposed to be
broke the light bulb!
Like, Hillary... But the difference is between that and this is nobody came with a broom to sweep the glass. He just went...
Maybe if I crush it down small enough, like the people's problems, it'll get so small that they won't bother me with them anymore.
You see, if Bush was doing that, then he'd probably get down and try to snort it after.
Huh, it's all white and powdery. College.
What is that? You think it... Close enough. That can cause cancer.
You can't prove that.
Yeah. I'll let you know. Yeah, but... So then we got Biden, 20 or 15, 16 years later.
Something under pressure. What was it again?
I don't even remember.
So under pressure.
Chewing on under pressure.
The kids, they used to pet my legs.
And I got hairy legs, and they'd run their hands up and down. Yeah. Oh, man. That's what I should try to find is a bunch of clips of both of them and just have a compilation video. Just has nothing to do with any show. A compilation video of like one and then the next. And like just keep playing one and the next. Like 10, 15 minutes worth. I think that would be great.
7 minutes, 40.
Be entertaining anyway.
Which is the toughest job if you're a single mother with 2 children, which is the toughest job in America as far as I'm concerned. And you're working hard to put food on your family.
Yeah.
Those who think that they can say we're only going to have a stimulus package, but let's forget tax relief, underestimate.
Everyone's laughing at him. You fucking
Just
idiot.
making sure you were paying attention. You were. I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully. The responses have got to end.
I didn't realize that the storm clouds on the horizon were, when I got elected, were nearly directly overhead. But the difference, I guess, between Bush and Biden is Bush at least realized what he said after the fact. Biden had no fucking idea. Like, he'd say things. Pause. He'd read the teleprompter. He'd say, like, the things in parentheses or brackets. Like, pause. I think Biden is an alien robot. And that was, you remember, all right,
There's a
Simpsons?
25-minute compilation of Biden. The longest one I found of Bush was like 13.
Yeah. What,
They
the
really
Simpsons?
turned it up to 11.
Seriously. But
He got 13 minutes. I want 40.
the Simpsons, the aliens in the Simpsons, the little tentacle arms.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't remember their names, but I think Biden's being controlled by them, and that's their that's their attempt to send something down to kind of interact with humans. To their first step in coming down to actually interact with us. It's like, well, send an android down. We've figured out how to make it look human, and it comes down, and then what we get is Biden. So then when he's actually reading the teleprompters and they got it like programmed, it's like, all right, he's going to say this. And then he goes through and reads it. But then they haven't figured out how to get him to actually pause. So he just reads pause. 4 more years. Pause. Ah, and the aliens are up there doing that.
And Naked Gun.
Yeah, and that's basically what happens. So I think he's an android. And now we have all the droids. Now we have all the drones and everything. And that's what
And all the AI workers at Amazon.
Yeah, that too. But before that, the drones, I get the guy I work with, he sent me a picture of it. His wife saw him over their house. He said, dude, it was the weirdest thing. There were a whole bunch flying in a straight line all together.
There's
And that's the picture he took.
There's a video, a buddy of mine, he sent it on Snapchat.
Like,
It's over in Jersey, but it's maybe a couple football fields away, and you can see it clear as day flying and doing what it's doing.
yeah. So who knows what they are. But then we got Amazon going on strike because...
Oh, Bezos was like, you probably shouldn't do that. And then they're like, well, fuck you, we want more money, because he does pay like dick. But that's besides the point.
Yeah, and
they're like, he goes, no, I'm telling you, you really don't want to give me the chance to do this. We'll do what?
That's
Not
it.
pay us? He goes, okay, go strike. As soon as they went on strike, he implemented a lot of test programs, and they have a high success rate.
here's this is like a double-edged sword, because the job they are working is inevitably going to be replaced by AI. It's just it's going to be. It's skillless labor. That's what it is. You pick this up, you put it over here. There's no skill there. You got to be a hard body to do it and like durable, but you don't have to fucking go to school for that. It's skillless labor. So AI will come in and take your job's gonna be taken. But it
That
is.
shit for like almost 19 years.
So did I. I did it for 10 down there, but I worked in that fucking style of work for 17 years. But that's what it is. It's skillless labor. AI will take that over.
There was a lot of skill. How many times did we go to work high?
Well, that's muscle memory.
Ah,
That's not a skill. That's the complete opposite of skill. Listen, you can do something by muscle memory and your brain is just somewhere else. That's not skill, buddy. That's just... But muscle memory. AI will take over a lot of those jobs. McDonald's, like restaurants, warehouses, trucking is one that on paper would be like, of course. But boy, I don't know. If it is, it's gonna be a ways.
It's a long.
It'd be a
ways
ways
down the
yet.
road.
Maybe not as long as like I think like my uncle thinks and like other truckers think. I don't think the way technology advances so quickly, but it's not gonna be like with Amazon and stuff. You see, like I mean, you said he's implementing stuff and it's successful. It's like yeah, because that's right around the corner. When Bezos like says like don't go on strike, the pay. Well, it wasn't so much the pay that they went on strike as they were being forced to work, 12 hours, overtime hours, mandatory with one break a day, which I'm like, how the fuck they get away with that? Isn't there like state regulated labor laws?
Yes, there is, but I've learned like with my company where the home office is based out of.
Right.
There's a lot of red tape. A lot of like back alley policies.
Things they could probably dance around and be like, okay, well, technically you're here doing this, but because it's this day or whatever fucking holiday,
they
or
can
like
get around,
National Canadian Boxing Day, it's like, well, technically it's not.
Yeah, there's a lot of loopholes they can fucking lot of like behind the curtain. Got it.
Business 101.
Yeah,
but like so that was the reason they were striking, which they're. Again, when Bezos does this, completely like business 101 again. I get why Bezos did this.
Oh yeah,
of course. One, you bring in AI, there is no complaining about overtime anymore. There is no complaining about
the clock
breaks.
work.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
But on the flip side, the workers had every right to be like, listen, you're fucking, you're torturing us
running
right
a slave
now.
shop.
Yeah, exactly. And
it's Q mark all over.
And they said, like, we want compensation. So you're going to make us work? Give us, like, fucking whatever bonus or something like that. You know, whatever the case may be. Like, and they weren't evidently doing that, so there was a strike. But because of that, what was inevitably going to happen anyway, they just catapulted to the front of the line and be like, well, okay, we're going to try this. It's like, well, you just fucked your jobs. Like that much quicker.
I agree. They have the right to feel the way they felt.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But you're in a job that's like, I mean, we say all the time, so I'm just a number. It's like, well, yeah, because that's what it. Like I worked that job for a long time. Like I understood the whole time is like, this is fucking. I'm a number. I am not. I have no skill where it'd be like, oh yeah, they're important, and that was no more glaring than. I used to be one of those guys at a warehouse. I used to be one of those guys that would pull fucking stupid high numbers all the time and run my ass off. Mm-hmm. And then after a while, I'd be like, they kept changing the rules to make it harder and harder, but I kept doing it anyway. Just fine. Okay, you're going to do this. Well, I'll just do this and, get incentive checks. And after like the third or fourth time, they'd change the rules again. And this is like all within a year span. I'm like, fuck it. I'm not doing this anymore. Even though I did all that work in the past, didn't matter. Yeah. What are you doing right now? And they'd be like, oh, man, you used to pull high. And you're like one of those bottom of the barrel guys. I'd go in and pull like 96, 97%. All they had to do 95.
95 to stay alive.
Yeah. And I'd be like, I'm not, because I bust my ass and you just keep changing to make it harder. Like, I'm not playing this game. So I just stopped doing that. And, well, then I was one of those guys now. And I'm like, well, yeah. But I had seniority at that point, so it didn't matter. But, like, what I'm saying is, that job being as skillless as it is, like it doesn't matter how good you do or how bad you do. Like everyone's just a fucking number on the floor. It's like they'll use you until you're wore out and they take that cog out of the machine and put a new one in.
Yep.
There's no skill there to hold on to. So when Bezos sees all this like strike bullshit and be like, all right, I'll just get rid of that, which was going to happen anyway. So,
I don't know. When it comes to the trucking industry, I don't see that happening.
No, because I think there's a lot they have. I mean,
there's too many factors, too many variables.
Variables is the big one. There is a lot of variables, and
the necessity to be just for the human, the sentient part of the job function, you need to be aware, and I don't know. It's weird.
Do you my uncle was talking about this is I don't know, this may be over the
That's the old stuff, right?
Huh?
That's the old stuff, right?
Yeah, it's almost dead.
Oh, thank God.
But I got to get new stuff, but
That might be where you need it, actually.
it still works. Nowhere near as bad as it was. But. We were talking about over the summer.
I tell you, I smell this every time my Tevin Blade knows now.
Yeah.
Taste it.
Over the summer.
God, it works!
Not that bad. Maybe I'm just used to it now. We were talking about, they had like the automatic, the self-driving trucks, I mean, right? He was telling me he read, what magazine or whatever, he gets a magazine that like keeps up to date with truckers and all
I don't
like
know.
the tech. He's one of those.
Yeah.
He was reading an article in it where they had, no, it works, but not like it was.
Not like the first fucking time.
They had a self-driving truck, and I guess they were driving next to it, and they used like a laptop and some like $10 or $15 program, and they hacked it driving next to it. They could control the governor, they could control the braking, the accelerator, like they controlled all of that, and it took them minutes.
That's weak.
And they were supposed to. This is supposed to be like the new cutting edge thing. It's like, oh, we have security on it and everything. And they hired like someone outside, just like see if you can hack this within minutes. Hacked with just basic Target, Walmart material. It's like that's the big problem. It's like so, not to mention all the other basic auto driving bullshit problems you have. It's like, oh yeah, it's fine 95% of the time, but every now and again, it's like, oh, we got to turn into. I mean, you see GPS, like. Every now and again, turn left up here, and the left goes like 20 feet before the actual or after the actual turn. It's like, what the fuck is a self-driving truck going to do? There's an apartment building, and bam! Like, oops. Like, that's kind of a big oops. Yeah, or like I said, like an accelerator gets stuck or some shit like that. Something that if someone is in the seat, they'd be like, oh shit, this is happening.
Good example. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, so a trailer slide. You know what that is?
No.
All
Is
right.
that when all your shit like? No. Is that
So-
you talking about like when it actually slides?
Yeah.
What's the happen? Detach.
You want to, but so what ended up happening? I made a rookie mistake, and I hit the brakes. And at a time, it was during the winter, in a point when I probably shouldn't have.
Like I'm in a car. Oh no, I'm not in a car. One of those things.
It was
like,
one of those.
Whoopsie.
It was actually my first winter driving.
Right.
And they say you're going to make all your mistakes your first winter. And I was like,
It's like one of those things where you make a mistake. You're like, that's why you never do again. Fuck me.
Yeah. Well, I hit the brakes. And I was, oh shit. At the last second, I look at my driver's side mirror and I'm like, wait a minute. And I saw the tail doing this towards the passenger. I'm like, oh fuck. I look out the passenger mirror. There's my trailer doing this. So at this point, where's your phone? Give me your, here, no, perfect. This is the truck, this is the trailer.
Right.
So it's doing this as I'm driving. So
Just plowing.
I literally kept my foot on the throttle, grabbed the trolley brake, tapped it. Now the trolley brake, they call it trolley brake, same fucking thing. That is a lever you pull.
It locks up your back
Your
tires.
trailer tires.
Yeah.
So kept my foot.
It locks it or just like.
Hits the brakes for it.
Oh, all right.
Doesn't lock them up. It sees them.
Oh, okay,
But as
yeah,
soon as you
yeah.
let that lever go, it releases the air
Okay.
back into it, opens the brakes back up. So it did this number. So
Is it good enough? That's good enough. It's like,
I-
that's all I need.
I was like, okay, I'm pulling over and having a
But there
smoke.
again, if that was AI, I mean, how far along are we before AI figures out how to do that? Like,
Yeah.
that's a long fucking way. But that's
There's
what I
so
mean.
many-
There's a lot on paper. Of course, it's just down the road. But there's too many variables like that. I'm like, I don't see it. What I think will happen before that is, which is already happening, which is drones. Drones delivering big things. I mean, if they have SUV fucking size drones now, it'd be like, I'm going to buy something from IKEA, and they just drop it off. But there again, you're going to have problems with GPS. And hey,
Thanks, Amazon. Charlie, I live right across the street. I know, but you weren't answering your text.
but Wouldn't that be something to get hacked and suddenly it's like oh, what's it? Oh, the Forgotten or whatever the hell it was. Suddenly you're just walking, a drone goes. It's just happening all over. Like, damn it,
God.
I can't go outside. But on the flip side, you're gonna have problems with AI.
They're raping everybody.
You're gonna have problems with AI because they're gonna be going and dropping fucking huge dressers on your roof. Like, wow, the fuck?
I asked for an inside delivery. Crashes in the side of the wall.
Look,
bam!
You look through the hole. You be like, "Do you put it together too?" It takes your TV.
I just got robbed.
Damn it! How do I?
I can't even tell anybody what it looked like. It was all black.
We're on it. No. It was a drone.
Middle of the night, a jet black fucking drone. I couldn't identify it in a lineup if I had to.
Did it put pictures of its family and kids on the wall?
Sprinkle some crack on them, we'll be fine. Open it up, Case Johnson.
Yeah, drone. You call it what you want, sir. Jeez Louise. But, yeah. They're raising the retirement age to 70, evidently. Did you hear that one?
Yeah.
Which is fucking...
Dude, by the time we get there, it'll be like 80.
That's... You laugh, but... I wait a minute.
Work till you're fucking dead paying these fucking taxes. Oh, but we're going to tax the money you do put into a special account for when you do stop working. And then you got to pay taxes on everything else.
Okay, so here you go.
Hold on. Not only did we tax your money that you worked for, but we're going to tax the money that we give you out of your own account. And then you got to pay taxes on top of everything else, all the shit you buy.
So, in 2022, the average age of a male before death, or of death in the United States was 78 or 74.8. So it'll work. I spent 50 fucking years working my ass off so I can retire at 70 so I can enjoy, 1,400 days? Oh boy. And the thing that's bonkers is that's the average age. You could work for a job, a state job or something, where you work 25 years and then you can retire, which is ideal. But the problem is a lot of those jobs, especially nowadays, like you're in like tier 6.
Yeah.
So after all that time, it's like, what are you bringing home a week? Oh, I'm bringing home $400. Awesome. You do more than that at McDonald's now. And that's in... what?
14, 16.
35 years? 30 years?
1,460 days.
But that's in 30 years.
I mean, from when you retired to when you died, basically.
Yeah.
Fucking sad.
So, like, what's the point at that point? Like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, no. And I think a lot of people, what you're going to do is kill the working class.
Yeah, you are.
Just kill morale. It's like, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to work for fucking 50 years, barely getting by, and then you'd be like, hey, here's your fucking free turkey and a watch, and I'll go out to pasture. Hey, all that stuff I wanted to do in my 30s and 40s, I can do it now. Except I got a fucking walker. Like, that's bizarre. It's not even bizarre. It's fucking stupid. And most people are going to look at that and be like, nah, not going to do that. And that's going to be one more thing that kills the college system. I mean, the college system itself is killing it. Like, just...
Killing itself, yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible. But then they'll be like, listen, you're going to do all this and then have to work for the rest of your life. It's like, why the fuck am I going to spend that much money then?
Yeah, you're not out of debt for the first 10, 15, almost 20 fucking years.
Oh, it's like $100,000. I mean, if you're getting like a bigger degree, it's like $100,000.
Yeah, and then you got to, mind you got bills to pay, taxes to pay, and you got that fucking loan to pay back. So by the time you're done fucking paid off, you're in your mid to late 30s.
Trade school. Just do trade school. It's like a few $1,000s, 8-9 months training, and then you're into some profession where you have a skill and you're making just as much, if not more, than if you went to college. To start. And then, if you run your own, after a while, apprenticeship and journeyman, whatever, you run your own business and make your fucking hand over fist money. I only say that not, but I fell into that shit. I went to college, you went to college, and I was like, I scratched an itch, and that's what it turned into. Luckily, it wasn't a 4-year fucking college where I dropped $100,000, but I did that, it's like, I'm going to try this thing. That's where it started, I'm going to try this, and I did it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And I got out of it. And then I just fell into trade work. Which it's way fucking better. Way better. It's got its downsides, but what doesn't any job? But I tell you what, if I save my body and the time and everything, it's just way better.
Mine too. Oh, trust me, 100%. Am I doing what I thought I would?
I'm not either. I already know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
I am not either.
But am I upset? No. Am I happy?
Not at all.
Hell yeah. Does my body appreciate what I do a lot better than what I was doing 10 years ago? But you fucking muscular.
I could tell you that mine does because I'm not out on injury.
Yeah. The one time you hurt your back, you were down for 3 fucking months?
Both times I was down for 3 months.
Yeah.
And that was all in a 9-month span.
Yeah, I was going to say, they were almost back to back, weren't they?
It was. I went down for 3 months. That was December through February. I started back March 1st of 2021. And then I was back from, 2021. And I was back from March to June. Went back down again. It wasn't as painful as the first time, but the recovery was a lot slower. It was it was a plateaued recovery. Like with the other one, it was the worst. I've broken bones and shit. That was excruciating pain, bar none. That was horrible. I couldn't stand up straight for 2 fucking weeks. It was fucking awful. I hated it. But then once I started to recover, it's just I got better. And second time, not so much. But that's when I was like, I can't keep fucking doing this shit. I gotta get out of here. Yeah, it's way better. And then lastly, are you ready to get your stimulus check?
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
So I'm like, why? Come on, did we not learn our lesson from the last fucking time we did this bullshit?
One last hoorah of the Democrats.
It killed it's just Hochul. It killed our. Yeah. Why? Just the economy's dead. Stop fucking hitting it with a stick. Just leave it alone.
Well, we get it. You led the horse to water. You held its head underwater until you thought it would drink, and then it died. Pull its head out of the water. Don't hold it on there any longer.
Why? And and to boot, it's $300. So after taxes, you get $220. Right now, thanks for fucking pissing on my foot. What?
I mean, that's an SSD for me.
Well,
PS5 upgrade.
You could. I thought about upgrading. Actually, what I did think about is if the economy gets better and I start getting heavy into belts again, selling them, I just get a PS5 Pro, and put that one in here with the Pro out there. But yeah, so now we're gonna get a stimulus check, which I don't even fucking know. Why are we getting it?
I don't know.
I just heard we're getting another one. Why? Come on. And then we're gonna have to fucking pay taxes on it. It comes tax season next year.
Oh yeah. It's gonna come out of something. Come out of the tip of my dick.
All right, what is this? No. Right there. Yeah, it's $1,400 for a family. Okay, there we go. It was proposed $8.6 million or billion dollar. Refund check. The first proposal. All right, blah, blah, blah. Okay, $500 payment for families making less than $300,000. Yeah, that's another thing too. The brackets they had is if you make less than $300,000, if you're making $300,000 and you get, listen, our family got a $500 check. What the fuck? Why? If this,
it's a family or a person?
A family, regardless, $300,000. But maybe in New York, but in New York City they wouldn't even mess. You get an extra $500. What the fuck am I gonna do?
I mean, if they gave me $500 per person in my household, I'll be all right with that.
That would be.
Just saying.
But like, if this was like, okay, we'll make this go up to like, okay, if your family's bringing less than $100,000 a year, okay, I still is like, keep your fucking money. I don't want it. But if like that was that was like kind of the incentive, or that was the direction they were going, I get it.
Yeah.
$300,000 though, it's like what the. $300 payment for individual New York taxpayer making less than $150,000 a year. Oh boy. Like, that's like, okay, you work at McDonald's. Be like, hey, you want a bonus? And they flick you a fucking 50-cent piece. Like, gee, thanks. I'll just hold on to this because I don't see many of these anymore.
Don't spend it all in one place now, boy.
Yeah. But what is this, like the South in 1860? What the fuck?
Oh, you want to know what a bonus is at McDonald's? A free dessert. I'm so serious. It's a free dessert. That's it.
Listen, we're getting $300 free dessert.
That's what I got.
Countless times.
Well, yeah, but you're like a minority, so of course. Who's calling you boy?
Ironically, black people. I've been called boy by a few black people in my life.
Huh. I guess it's true. Never mind. First proposal, $3 billion.
Although dates find the wheel.
Cancel service. I'll be right back. Don't you go dying on me. 150,000, 300,000. I got robbed by a sweet old lady in a motorized cart. You know who's a sweet old lady, but she doesn't have a motorized cart? It's Hochul.
She ain't a sweet old lady either.
No, but she's fucking robbing us. Here's your money. Now, fuck you. We're going to tax it.
So there's nothing sweet about her. She tastes like
that's what this
old
is.
lady in mothballs.
She does look like someone who would reek of mothballs.
Yes.
Does she not? Kathy Hochul, you smell like mothballs, and you're like 50 miles that way. Fuck you. Bye.
Tastes like mothballs too.
Ah!